To get to South America, I hopped on a plane from Boston to Atlanta, which by the way has the busiest airport in the United States, and approximately 53 million passengers coming in and out per year, which is around 1,000 flights per day. Then after a layover and a 6-hour 45-minute flight, I arrived in Lima, the capital of Peru. But wait, I got one more flight to go. From Lima, I traveled 2 more hours to Iquitos, Peru, which is the largest isolated city in the world, only accessible by air or the Amazon River. In total, it took me about 22 hours of traveling before I made it to my hotel and was finally able to lay down on a nice comfortable bed. Once I settled in, I took a very nice nap and went about my day. My body's circadian rhythm wasn't thrown off by jet lag while I was traveling because Lima and Iquitos share the same time zone as the East Coast. What I will say is I did have to adapt to the weather. Every day basically was always in the 90s with strong humidity while my body was accustomed to New England's frigid weather at the time. The day I had for myself, I was hanging out with the very friendly locals. The reality of the situation, being in a very large isolated city, the poverty is through the roof. People were left, right, and center asking me for money and for me to buy their very exotic possessions. I was approached by this local named Freddie. He was offering me his jewelry made partially from the vine of ayahuasca. I was a little skeptical, so I didn't buy it right away. After talking to him for a little while, I was fascinated to learn about the Amazonian culture. Sitting outside of a restaurant overlooking the beautiful Amazon River, we were chatting it up for hours. I liked him so much I bought him dinner, bought some of his jewelry, and gave him $20. The currency in Peru is called the sol, or soles, and $1 is the equivalent of 4 soles. He was as happy as a kid on Christmas, but it made me feel very humbled. After saying our goodbyes, we went our separate ways, and I was fully focused on traveling down the Amazon River. The next morning, after a good night's rest, it was time, the moment I've been waiting for the final leg of my journey before officially settling down in the remotely dense Amazon jungle. The Amazon rainforest naturally produces roughly 20% of the world's oxygen that all living organisms breathe, and every year, deforestation is becoming more and more of an issue in some parts of the Amazon jungle. The journey from the dock to the Refugio Altiplano retreat, which translates to the refuge on the higher plane, is in a remote location in the Amazon, and takes about 2 hours to get there by speedboat. The sounds and sights of the boat ride were one of a kind, and I knew from that moment on for the next 12 days, I would not be able to turn back, with my life being in Mother Nature's hands. At last, my beautiful home for the next 12 days. Here we are in the Amazon. It's your boy Darzar. I'm gonna show you my jungle crib in TV style. Woo! So, got my entrance. They usually drop off some fruit in the morning, so a little mini breakfast. And we walk in, and the door got really good netting to protect the crib from bugs. Some of my water in my bag, little bag, my bed. Water jug, toothpaste. Here's my bathroom. So over here we got my shower. Pretty nice, pretty nice. The toilet. A little piss in there, but who cares? Got a sink. The water from the sink's not the same as the water from here, so that's why I have my toothpaste, because I don't want to contaminate my toothbrush and
put in my mouth. Alright, let's head upstairs. Oh, and the hammock, I chilled there too. So, all protected pretty well, you know. That's where I keep my clothes, about packed and stuff. I'm about to leave tomorrow, probably like 24 hours from now. This is where I read. Right now I love astronomy, so read about the stars and all over the galaxy. Place to see like just 17,000 light years. And then the coolest part is at night when they turn the lights, you look up. It's really cool. Reminds me of like a space laboratory. But yeah, oh, what we got? We got get some rats up here sometimes. Alright, well, that's my MTV jungle crib. Nice talking to you guys.
A day in the refugio consisted of eating breakfast at 10, then lunch was at 2, an ayahuasca ceremony at 8, with a whole lot of free time in between. Fasting was a key part for a successful ceremony. If there was no ceremony, then dinner was at 7. On our days with no ceremony, the shamans and the leaders planned some activities for the group, which were really adventurous, and include going into the local villages, and going through the dense jungle to a botanical garden. These plants are really exotic, exquisite, and only native to the Amazon. This was my attire for the jungle walk. I was fully layered up from head to toe, in all black. It was around 95 degrees that day, and for me it felt like 105 degrees, because the color black absorbs all light, and that converts more into heat. But besides that, I felt like freaking Indiana Jones, baby! Wow! Once we were done viewing the whole botanical garden, we were met at a brief standstill. The leaders of the group wanted all of us to cross here because it was the shortest route back to the refugio, with a fair warning of the possibility of piranhas, snakes, or even caimans, which is the South American version of a crocodile. The group was terrified and wanted to go the long way. I was the only one that wanted to cross though. In my head, this was once in a lifetime, and if Crocky Boy wanted to come after me, I'd have to chop him up with my machete. Long story short, we ended up going the long way.
Hey, 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 hey. Akantanta hey Uwe Matu Dudani Aluna Havaje Vavelo Etande Taliu hey Hemme Konyeke Deva Goaman Samani Di Monae, hey, 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 Hanna, 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 Hanna Jari, oh, hey, hey,
Damn. One of my favorite parts of this experience was traveling by myself and with a group leader to a nearby village and interacting with the people. Along the way there, we saw a giant river otter floating next to us. My guide said he's been doing this for 35 plus years and he's never seen one until now. That was awesome. Nuevo Tarapaca, the village I visited, had a population of 100 people living there. This was where the head shaman and the workers at Refugio Altiplano are from. The people loved looking at me and touching my hair, which was new. I was there for hours, having conversations, and eventually ended up playing football with some of the guys. Time to get the ball rolling on Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is an ancient medicine, indigenous to the Amazon, that shamans have used for thousands of years to cure ailments or problems within the human body. People looking in from the outside world know ayahuasca as a psychedelic drug that contains dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. This isn't the same type of DMT that comes to mind that Joe Rogan always talks about. He has never done ayahuasca anyways. Ayahuasca translates to the vine of death, or to make it sound less scary, vine of the soul. You need two plants to create ayahuasca, one being the ayahuasca vine and the other being the chacruna leaves, which contains a DMT. You can't have one without the other. The place where we received the ayahuasca was called the Maloca. Ceremonies always occurred at nighttime, were presented to us by the shamans after blessing the medicine. Out of respect, I did not feel myself consuming the medicine or the ceremony itself, but I most definitely will describe to you about how I felt during it. For 7 nights, my dosage was always a full cup of ayahuasca, nothing more, nothing less. And after that, it took about 45 minutes for it to kick in. I first realized my subconscious felt like it was on steroids, and my thoughts felt three-dimensional, like at the movies. Then I started to have visions of my past, and what seemed to be my future. I wasn't sure though, because I kept having thoughts that were out of the blue, and my imagination was becoming more and more vivid by the minute. Eventually, I vomited what seemed to be gallons of guts, but nothing really came out. The shamans would sing in Icaros, which are chants to help guide you with the experience. The effects lasted 4 hours, and you still felt a little drunk, even after the ceremony was over. In all, the moments were very personal. I was very happy and satisfied with the experience 6 out of the 7 nights. Then, there was the 4th ceremony. Everything was going great. Then all of a sudden, I started to lose control of my brain. I had no clue what was going on. It was all black, and I felt this energizing sensation that I've never felt before. Before I knew it, my soul had to be about 3 feet above my physical body. I got way too scared and went back inside. This was the most fearful experience of my whole entire life. Words can't express how thankful I was for the shamans and staff at Refugio Altiplano, for the great memories and moments amongst each other, as well as how friendly the local people are as well. So for that, thank you very much. Now, it's time to go back to the United States.
Aluna havaje vavelo etande taliu hey emme konyeke deva goaman kamani hey 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 hey